Bitcoin still floating around 63K. Is it time for some big alt entries based on this current move? I mean, things are looking pretty rosy out there. We got some strong news out of China as well. It could be some bullish things happening at the moment. Is it time for the big guns? So today I've got a couple of trades that I think could play out over the next few weeks. I think you can double your money on a couple of them, maybe even more. There's lots going on here. I'm also doing a giveaway today. So guys, there's so much happening. Let's get right into this. And remember, hit that bell, hit the like, hit whatever you need to hit, because the man is here. These goggles are literally staying on. If we catch him without the goggles, there's a penalty. Okay, these are staying on for the whole of quarter four. Just saying. Okay, let's get right into this, and then we're going to get into some juice. I'm also doing a giveaway for you guys today. So there's a couple of things you have to do, but keep watching the show, and 5 lucky winners are going to get something here out of me. So Banter Bubbles, what is going on here at the moment? A mixed bag today. You might have noticed we had some consumer confidence news come out of the States, and that wrecked any breakout trades that you guys were in, especially the high degen guys. You probably got a little bit stopped on a couple of plays. So that is why we got a mixed bag at the moment. Look at Celestia on the right, 6%. I am talking about that one today. There is a bit of news floating around on that, so stick around. Maybe someone here went long. If you did go long, raise your hand on Celestia. Terrible move. So we got that going. And then CFX at the bottom. Is this going to be our China play based on what is going on in China? So tons happening. Let's take a look at BTC and see what is cracking. So nothing really. If you've been trading Bitcoin, this has been pretty boring, and tons of consolidation here at the highs. Now, the longer we sit here, it starts becoming a guessing game as to which way they're going to send us. I'm still inclined to look for a little move down into the 61,900 region. That is still my preferred zone that I would like to see on BTC. Is that going to help me with my altcoin trades? No, we're going to get rinsed. If they send it there. You can see Bitcoin sneezed a little bit today, and there was a hell of a dump in the altcoin markets, especially the 15-minute traders. You guys got smashed. Never mind how the 3-minute traders got smashed. What happened there? Did you survive?
I'm not in the trade actually, but I would be short.
Those 3-minute candles, they must have been horrible earlier today. But guys, before we get into more of this BTC stuff, I just want to have a quick word with you guys, okay? Things are looking rosy out there. It's easy to get carried away, okay? If you're over trading, you over breakout trading, you're doing all these types of things, it's all fun and games while it is going on. But the minute this market sneezes and reverses, you can get rinsed out, you can get hurt. Remember, your strategy has to have spot plays, longer term spot trades, maybe some low 3x margin trades. If leverage trading, and I'm talking the 10x degens, the 20x guys, if that is your only strategy here in a bull market, okay, it's a lot of fun when it's going up, but it's way less fun when it's coming down, and you're going to get rinsed out. Okay, so you need to be careful. It's got to be one of your strategies in this crypto market. If you're going to be successful here, you need the whole mix. Okay, so just be balanced here. Don't do stupid things, okay? We don't want to get rinsed in a bull market, okay? This is not my first rodeo. I've seen this movie before, and let's just keep playing it safe and just be balanced and measured. Okay, lecture is complete. Let's talk BTC. So my first prize, yes, 61,900. I do want to see that move lower down. It's not going to be great on some of these altcoins, but you can see by this chart, it looks like this needs to happen here for us to get some kind of mini reset here on BTC. Now, naturally, if we start losing that one, then we have levels lower down that we are watching, 60,000. And then I've got this massive cluster I spoke about yesterday, the 59 to 58K. It's a nice zone. Okay, this is a big area for me. And I would assume at these types of levels, the market is going to feel max bearish. Okay, and that is where you guys need to be tuned in to the show, because this is where I excel. Okay, when these things are jumping and everybody's getting bearish, that's where you need to be in. And just keep your eyes on this. If you are getting rinsed out, if we do get some kind of dump in the market, make sure you are tuning in. Make sure you got these levels. I see Chris saying sometimes the best time to trade is not to trade. He's right. Okay, you don't always need to be in a position. And 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is 97% spot. Good strategy. Remember, when the market is going up and down, you're getting chopped out on leverage trades, doing all those types of things. That money goes away. Okay, but if you're sitting in spot bags and you've got a 6-month view or a 1-year view on the market and you believe the stuff is going to be moving up, these spots, they just go up, down, up, down, up, down. But it's going to be net up, okay, in 6 months, net up. in 12 months, those types of things. So just make sure you have a balanced strategy. Matt is 100% spot right now. Okay, so yeah, look, there's some balanced traders in here. Congrats, guys. Not all degens here. This is good to see. Okay, so downside levels, we know BTC. We're watching these areas closely. We're going to react accordingly on those levels. Upside, you can see our 200-day MA. This is amazing, this 200-day MA. Look at this. Beautiful resistance here for us. When we start cracking this and holding support, we're gonna get a little bit excited. Okay, things are gonna get a bit more fun. We're probably gonna see 68K, 69K shortly thereafter. So just a patience game here at the moment. Okay, so Bitcoin trading, I haven't done much BTC trading on Prime XBT. It's been all about ETH for me at the moment. So I'm still sitting in this ETH position, waiting. Okay, waiting for something to happen there. When the time is right for BTC, we'll naturally jump into some more BTC scalps. But you can see my strategy here. These are the zones that I'm watching to the downside for some BTC bounce plays. Okay, before we get into altcoins and all the fun things, let's just take a look at what is going on out there. And the DeFi investor looked up some sentiment at the moment. He's got a little chart, and he's saying the search for traffic for crypto is down 80% from all-time highs. Retail doesn't give a fuck about crypto right now, is what he's saying. But imagine what happens when they start coming back. So just another reminder here for you guys, some of the trades that I'm going to show you today. Okay, when these things start pumping, retail is going to come back. They're going to be your exit liquidity. So if you are watching crypto shows now, if you are learning how to trade now, you are ahead of the game. Okay, these things are at lows. Retail interest is like zero. When BTC starts breaking big levels, they all going to come back. Okay, you're going to be smarter. You're going to know how to work these charts. You're going to have exit zones and all these things from me. And you're going to use these guys that come in late, okay, as your profit, as your exit liquidity later on. So well done if you guys are sticking to this and staying disciplined, watching the show. Now, does anyone have baby oil? Because look at this situation. Puffy, P. Diddy, he's and Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX. Those of you that are new to crypto, you don't know what FTX is. Well, FTX was a massive exchange. This guy on the right, sucking the banana, yeah, what the cucumber, is one of the biggest crooks. And basically, they are in the same unit in the Brooklyn jail. I mean, they look prime for one another. Look how they're gazing into each other's eyes there at the moment. I wonder if Diddy's got his baby oil. So we'll keep watching what happens there. Now, I posted this earlier today.
Is there a meme coin for baby oil? Is there a meme coin? I'm sorry.
There has to be. There has to, guys, please, can somebody make a on pump.fun or something, make one of these?
Yeah, right away.
It's urgent. Okay, it's urgent. I need a baby oil meme coin. Okay, I posted this earlier today. Follow me on Twitter at the Lord of Entry. Key events this week: Australian Federal Reserve interest rate resolution. Okay, we know all over the place, all over the world, they're busy dropping interest rates, cutting them, doing their thing. So that's just another catalyst, a small catalyst, but it is something interesting. Then we've got jobless claims on Thursday. We know that's generally a market mover. We got PCE price index. We know that's a market mover. And then we also have CZ getting released from prison. And this is this B&B trade that we aped, well, not aped into, we FOMO'd into yesterday. It was hardly an ape move, and it was a reckless trade, but I'm still sitting in this thing at the moment. I still think there's a potential B&B push into CZ's release. Now, not that he's going to do any crypto things, and because he's probably not allowed to, but I think there's sentiment here at the moment. So things like Floki and things like B&B, I think they could be nice Binance chain plays. Okay, so B&B looking all right here. Key support for me that I'd be watching here, 590. No changes on that. Could be a little push into 630. Could be a push into 700. In the next few days. So something to watch, guys. I think it's a trade you keep your eyes on. Okay, and then we had this consumer confidence come out today, and it was below expectations. Okay, basically, what is this telling us? The guys aren't confident. They want to save money. They don't want to spend money, these types of things. So that's a little bit of a drain on the market. And you might have noticed the red candles that came around earlier when this news got released. So not a good look at the moment for consumer confidence. We're going to see how the S&P handles this now during the course of the day. And, right now still looking relatively bullish. We're about a couple of points from all-time highs again, and the S&P seems to shake these things off relatively quickly. So S&P traders, right now, your key support you're going to be watching 5,650. That's your support zone. That is your previous all-time highs. So if we do dip into that zone, then I would expect some kind of recovery bounce there. And then naturally, if we lose that, we'll start pulling out fibs and things like that. But you can see the next obvious area there for me is 5,500. That type of level. So S&P still looking good. Okay, crypto still looking good. BTC's been flat, but it's given these alts a nice little run at the moment, and long may it continue. Now, the big news that everybody is talking about today is the Chinese news. China announces multiple rate cuts and banks reserve ratio requirements. This is what people have been waiting for, and we know what happens. You know, when these Chinese get a little bit excited, the market starts pumping. And remember that feeling. Asia pumps during the evening session. Then you wake up and the US starts pumping again and Europe starts pumping. It's the most incredible, euphoric type of situation that, or the most incredible situation you could wish for from a crypto perspective. And basically, they're going to inject 500 billion, or call it 71 billion USD of liquidity directly into the stock market. I mean, if that doesn't deserve a bullhorn, I don't know. I don't know. And Lark Davis put this one, he just pitched it quite nicely. This is the crypto market into Q4. I mean, that's pretty good. Okay, that's a pretty good wrap of what is going down here. And just a reminder, again, and I spoke about it just now. Okay, things are teeing up here for us beautifully. Let's not get rinsed in too many high leverage trades. Okay, have your strategy, trade less. Okay, trade nice areas, nice zones, things like that. Let's not get rinsed here. Okay, bull market. This is once in a lifetime type opportunities, and the way things are teeing up now with all this liquidity coming into China. What do we like to look for? Well, a CFX is a nice little Chinese token. Now, whether this thing is going to rip any further, it remains to be seen. But if you like the idea of China pumping liquidity into the markets and you like a Chinese narrative coin, now we have traded Chinese narrative coins in the past. Sometimes they've been good, sometimes they've been bad. But CFX, you can see I've just banged out a daily chart for you guys. And the next target for CFX, if we can just pop this little resistance band here at the moment, we could get a nice little push. Okay, so there's probably about another 15 or 14% left on CFX for a little pump. And then we're going to be talking a bit more about this today with some of these trades that I've got for you. But the 200-day MA is now becoming our new target on a ton of altcoins. So we've done a lot of hard work with some of these alts. We've broken through the 50-day MA. Now, naturally, if we can hold 50-day MAs, we start pushing to our next big one. And the next big one for me is that 200-day moving average. So CFX, let's see if we can get it to 1863. Then, you know, we'll see how things go over there. And then, you know, maybe we're going to tackle that 200-day MA. So right now, CFX is at resistance. It's a nice Chinese narrative play. It's not a leverage position here for me. You can see this thing has run a little bit. Your first major support is at 1381, so it's quite a far way down. So if you're interested in a Chinese narrative, there it is. Okay, let's see if that starts pumping for us. Okay, and then BTC on the daily. Just want to remind you guys, okay, on the daily chart, looks pretty simple that we could get some kind of pullback. I don't want to steer away from the possibility of a pullback here. Just remember, these guys can come and flush you anytime. Can you imagine how many late longers we have now in the market, okay, after the last couple of days? And it's a very easy game for the market makers, especially on the daily, if they want to drop us down. Hello, sir.
I'm sorry, sir. Just a couple things. Let's not be late for the likes. Let's smash those. And check out the ticker, guys. Read the ticker.
Ashish, okay, 3x long, okay, that's very civilized trading. Okay, some of the things I'm going to give you today are perfectly designed for 3x longs or spot trades. Okay, the DGen trades, they're slightly different. I've got DGen trades set up for you guys. I'm going to show you how these things play out. But remember, the higher your leverage, the higher your risk. Okay, and the tighter your entries need to be. Okay, here's BTC on the 3-day that I'm watching, 3-day that I'm watching, and you can see a little pullback into the 60K, anything down to the 59K zone, okay? That looks pretty reasonable, and that's still pretty bullish, okay? Remember, late longers in these altcoins on high leverage, you're going to get rinsed. You're going to get stopped out, okay? So just understand, this is still on the table, 60K to 59K, big area there for me, looking for a big bounce in that zone, okay? And naturally, you can see our horizontals, that's our 200-day MA, and our big horizontal here at 65. I suspect, like I said before, if we reclaim that 200-day MA, we're cruising. Okay, we're going to that trend, 68, 69K. That is going to be a TP zone there for me if I am in a BTC scalp at the time. Okay, I see Matty has taken Lido. We're going to talk about Lido as well. And just to quickly cover the liquidation heat map for you guys, I've got a little cluster here, 62,500, and then everything down to 60K. So this is the 24-hour heat map, so 62.5. down to 62K. Again, that takes us into our 382 zone. This thing is just building up and building up. It's like a magnet, okay? At some point, they're going to come for that liquidity there. So let's not take it off the table, that little region. Okay, let's get into some altcoins. So to step one, let's talk about dominance. We looked at this one yesterday. Big weekly level. Yeah. Okay, we've lost this big weekly level. That's a great start. So tick, altcoins looking good. We are reacting off the 50-day MA. No surprises over there. I would love to see a little push up here, but then ultimately I'd like to close under this 50-day MA and then send us down to this 56 level. Okay, so that is still in play for the altcoins. This tells me the altcoins are looking relatively bullish now from a dominance perspective. Okay, so even some BTC weakness and things like that, it should start holding out for us. So things are looking okay there from the alt front. And then my favorite chart at the moment is the others chart, and we touched on this yesterday. We're not quite out of the woods, but it is bullish. We've broken the 100-day MA, beautiful. We've broken the weekly downtrend, beautiful. What I want to see now, I want to see this break of structure here. I want to see us print a new high here before we get a pullback on these altcoins. That's going to confirm that things are nice and bullish for us and that we can keep going. But it's a great start. We've broken the 50-day MA. That is lovely for me. And the trend, so all is looking well. Okay, now I'm doing a giveaway today. Okay, Ray's gonna select some of the lucky winners. The giveaway is 5 $49 Bitfunded accounts. Okay, we're going to give you those for free. What you need to do is complete the Bitfunded challenge. It's the 8%, it's the 5%, and then you get the actual funded account that they're going to give you. The $49 account, they're going to give you a $5,000 account of their money. Okay, and once you pass the challenges, it's real money. You keep 80 to 90% of those earnings. So that is now on the table. I have passed my Bitfunded, that Arweave trade that I gave you guys yesterday. That took me to Valhalla. Okay, so that's now completed. Now I'm getting a funded account from Bitfunded. You can see stage 2. I've passed the profit test. You can see I needed $500. I've got $520 here for you guys. Oh, well, for that I've made here on the demo account. And we've got 2 more days left.
They got to follow you on Twitter and stuff. They need to read the ticker. I made a couple rules.
Ray, tell us the rules, please. Okay, tell us the rules. Go.
They need to follow you on Twitter. They need to follow me on Twitter. And then send their Zoomex user ID after I pick the 5 after the end of the show.
Okay, so
and I put the email in there, giveaways at cryptobanter.com.
Okay, so there's going to be in the show description, there's going to be email, giveaways at cryptobanter.com. The guys that Ray calls out from the chats in the show, that is you. You're going to now mail giveaways at cryptobanter.com. You're going to show them that you have opened a Zoomex account. Okay, that's one of my trading partners. Go into the show description, open a Zoomex account, put $50 in the Zoomex account. Show them that you have done that, made the deposit, and those guys, you're going to get your $49 Bitfunded account. Okay, so we're going to try and make it as easy as possible for you guys. And in return, all I'd like you to do is follow me on Twitter, follow Ray, okay, and trade. When you're trading other money, you use my links, okay? Support me by doing that, and then I can support you guys with that. So, okay, so Bitfunded phase 2, I've now completed it now. It says 3 out of 5 days. So what I'm going to do now is open a couple of nominal size positions and let it play out. Then I'm going to get my funded account. This is going to be a $10,000 account, and then we can start playing with their money. Okay, wouldn't it be fun if we can max long something and catch like a massive pump? Okay, and really put this Bitfunded to the test. Okay, so there's a link in the description here. The whole shopping list is here for you guys. You know what to do. If you've been watching for a while, everything is here for you. And look for that giveaways address there. Ray will tell you who we selected. Okay, so there's a couple of 3x trades here, or spot trades for you guys. Okay, and one of them was Lido, which I called yesterday. And this thing, what do I like about this thing? It's breaking the weekly. What do I also like about it? It's a bull market play on ETH strength. Okay, naturally, you have to believe, okay, that the market's going to be turning bullish. But what we got here is we've got a solid weekly trend break. We've got solid support here at 1.06. And for me, nice little margin play. And this trade is easily invalidated. If we get a candle close under 1.06, it tells me this market is not in a good shape. Okay, we don't want to be sitting in positions when the market is busy melting down. So Lido looks good here to me. Upside targets 1.42. Next target is the 200-day MA 1.88, and then the Valhalla. Okay, the moonshot is going to be around about 2.5. That is what we're looking at on Lido. And I do have a lower time frame. I gave you guys this setup yesterday, and this is a perfect example for you guys. This is what you want to look for when the market is super bullish. Okay, when we're in these types of conditions, you know, we get these squeezy breakouts, we get these horizontal breakouts, and we're looking for retests and things like that. And I explained this one to you guys yesterday, and this is exactly how it's played out. So what happens here is we get our horizontal squeeze, we pop through the horizontals. What happens to these tokens? They come back and they retest these areas, then they bounce again. Okay, if they remain bullish, naturally they start holding their previous resistance as support, and then they send higher. So if we are not bleeding in the market and we're dipping into my hot zones, those juicy zones that I love, the next option is to trade breakouts. Okay, it's a trend breakout, it's a horizontal breakout, or it's a retest play that you're going to be looking at. So Lido was a typical setup there for me that we're looking for. And you know, scalper plays, again, there's a big difference between a 3x margin and a spot play versus these high risk 10x, 20x plays, and these are specifically set up for the degens here. Okay, remember, your risk is a lot higher with these types of setups. And yeah, I've taken this Lido. You can see my Lido position there at the moment. It's $25,000. My stop is 1.166 at the moment. You can see Sundog. Yes, finally. Did anybody get Sundog? Okay, this thing stopped me out at entry last week. Okay, I had to jump back into this thing. It's finally firing again. There's obviously, they're catching a bid here. There's obviously something going on here with Sundog. I've been talking about this thing for 2 weeks. Okay, finally, this thing is starting to move. You can see I'm in an AVAX head short at the moment. And I've got my Peppy that I'm going to talk to you about shortly. And Sol is still running here on Bybit. So there's a lot going on here at the moment, but you can see, protect yourself with stop losses and things like that. Oh, I see, I don't have one yet on Sundog. I'm going to have to add one there on Sundog. I'm going to put my stop at entry. Okay, we don't want to lose money on this situation when it pumps like that. So let's see how that goes. And now let's get into a couple more trades. So this one is interesting to me. Now, we're going to see when this market turns bullish, you're going to notice there's so many laggers floating around here at the moment. And, you know, some of these we want to look at where maybe the rest of the market isn't looking at now. Right now, they're chasing AI, they're chasing NEAR. These things are fired off. Tao, Render, some of the others NEAR. I mean, these guys are all ripping. And, you know, what I like to do is just cast my eye and start looking around at quiet things that have a reputation for pumpage, okay? And one of the ones that caught my eye today is Brett, okay? And the first thing I want to highlight here is I've used 𝗎𝗎𝗒𝗒 and I've used my regular TA, okay? So 𝗎𝗎𝗒𝗒, if you zoom in here, you can see we've got an incredibly tight weekly pivot, okay? And we have now taken off from this on Brett. Look at that super tight weekly pivot. So that is interesting to me, okay? That is a level that could be used as potential support. This is the daily chart that I'm looking at. Then something interesting to me on Brett, you've seen a lot of these altcoins, they've broken through the 50-day moving average, okay? So right now, Brett is under the 50-day moving average. It's a bit of a lagger, okay? And what has happened to a lot of these altcoins, once they've broken the 50-day MA, they start getting a little bit of renewed vigor and they start pushing a little bit harder. So I'm watching Brett incredibly closely here. I think this could be a nice little mover for us at some point. And if you take into account these squeezy type setups that I like to look at, even on the daily, look at that. We've got our horizontals, lots of pressure on the horizontals. And then we've also got our rising trend as well. So you can see these squeezy little setups that I love to play on these altcoins. Look at that. It's starting to take shape that maybe something is going to start squeezing a little bit higher. So one more thing to note, okay, we've got our 50-day MA. We can see that we're above our weekly pivot. Look at this thick monthly pivot. Okay, so naturally we are below the monthly pivot. That is actually relatively bearish, and that ties in with our 50-day MA resistance, our horizontal resistance, our trend resistance. So we know, we understand there's resistance in this area. But what happened to all these other altcoins that started popping these areas? They started accelerating relatively quickly. So Brett, on my radar, okay, this thing for me is very interesting. I've opened a small leverage or low leverage position here on Brett that we're going to be watching closely. And there's going to be a couple of plays here. There's degen levels and there's margin 3x trades. Now, I own Brett spot already, so I'm going to let that thing do its work, and then we can deal with the leverage trades slightly differently. So right now on this big picture for daily chart traders, I'm talking spot traders and things like that. What are your current exit options? So number one, if you close under 7587, for me, that invalidates this trade. Okay, that means this thing is now drifted lower. We're closing under, and we don't know where we're going, but we know Bitcoin is busy going to hell. okay, if that is happening. So that is number one that you need to watch. So that is a support zone there. Then ultimately, if we start popping this 50-day MA, that's going to give us a little opportunity to start adding to positions and things like that, because we're going to start using it as support for us later on. Okay, so where do I think Brett can go for us? Well, it's quite simple. We're going to use horizontals, and we're going to use some fibs and moving averages as potential guides for us as to targets. And upside for me on Brett, let's look at a couple of zones of interest. So the first level that you want to watch is a couple of highs. Okay, so 104, that is interesting. Then we've got our 382 fib, 111, and then we've got the moonshot, which is the 618 fib play at 143. So there's a lot happening here with Brett. There's a potential upside if the market stays bullish here of about 70%. If you're trading that on 5x, things are looking good. If you're trading on 3x, things are looking good. If you're trading it on spot, well, then you are cooking. I see Trobius took Sundog. Congratulations. That's Sundog. I think when we get this Binance listing, the Sundog is absolutely going to melt faces. Okay, so that is Brett for you guys. Okay, I'm going to show you my Brett position shortly. That is now for the low margin and the spot traders. Now, DGens, okay, this is for you. This is for the high risk players out there. And you can see what's going on here. I've broken this thing down on the 1 hour for you. And if we zoom out and we look at the bigger picture stuff, you can see these levels that we were talking about are lower down for the spot traders. For the DGens, you can see what's happening. If we zoom in, it's trying to break the 50-day moving average. This is our horizontal here that we're going to be watching at the moment. So if we get a nice little pop through this region, you're going to use this 50-day MA as a support zone, just like we looked at LIDO earlier on. When we had that pop, we're looking for that support buy later on. So you're looking for this pop higher, then you're going to use the 50-day MA as your support. That's going to give you your tightest or lowest risk potential entry there for the high leverage DGen guys, okay? And then that is naturally going to start unlocking the bigger picture. Okay, the bigger picture, you can see we've got some big targets there, but you got to work hard for these entries, okay? And we could get a situation here where it's a fake out, and they could decide to flush the market. So you might have to be in a situation where you try this thing a couple of times before you actually catch it. Remember, if you're trading high leverage, you're running very tight stops, okay? And then you stand the risk naturally of getting stopped out. But sometimes you need to get stopped out 1 or 2 times, maybe 3 times, and then you nail this thing. Okay, so don't think there's not going to be some kind of flush out in the market as well. So just make sure that you are playing this thing accordingly. So right now, Brett, you just want to see that pop. Then you're going to use that 50-day MA as your support, okay? And here I am in WEX at the moment. And I mean, I can't believe it, Ray. I can't believe I traded fucking Celestia, bro. Okay, so here's Celestia, okay? Come on, bro. There's news on Celestia. I'm going to talk to you about it, and the Sniper Club members are talking about it as well. Okay, so there's Brett. I've started an 8x position, okay? I've got it going here on WEX, and we'll see how this thing turns up. But it's a low leverage play. We know these things are volatile. You can get hurt on some of these trades. You don't want to go, you know, some of these meme coins on like max leverage. You can really start feeling pain. And you can see Celestia, we've taken a scalp. I mean, and it didn't exactly tie in with my TA, but what caught my attention was JMO and the gang in Sniper Club going on about this thing in the trader chat, okay? And I thought, well, okay, let's have a look, and maybe it's worth a discussion. So Celestia got $100 million in new fundraising. Okay, they've raised 155 million. The market obviously thinks this is relatively bullish, and this thing's been doing things. Okay, so to its credit, it has been moving. And what we saw earlier today that I showed you, the 50-day moving average. What happens when these things break the 50-day MA? They get a little bit hungry, okay? They start moving. And Celestia is a prime example of a token that's broken the 50-day MA, just like I've shown you now on Brett and a couple of others. And we want to see some action there. So when we get a clean break on that thing, it can move. Okay, so right now, Celestia retesting horizontal support. You can see here, this is the daily chart. We've got horizontal support in play, call it 6 on the button is your horizontal support. And your upside target for me is now that 200-day MA that we were talking about. And Pirate says, shout out to the sniper mods. And Dylan is the best. Thank you, bro. Thank you, guys. Remember, just hit the like. You know, hit the like. The show's free for you guys. Just like the content. Follow me on Twitter. Do the cool stuff. And so Celestia, your target is 8.39 is what you're going to be looking at if this thing remains bullish and if it can hold. Naturally, it's not going to be in a straight line. Well, I'd love it to be, but you do have a little bit of a fight in the way. You can see 7.66 that's an area of interest. Most likely, if this thing does start pushing, most likely get your rejection there. Then maybe we start churning higher and things like that. Ultimately, DGens, you're watching 6. This is your current support. And if you tie this in to 𝗔𝗟𝗔𝗥 and a DGen setup here on the 4 hour, you can see why, it wasn't quite in my zone. But these guys were going on and on about it in the traders chat. And I started getting a little bit of FOMO. So I looked a little bit closer, and you can see if you zoom in here, this is the daily pivot low. Okay, so you can see it's bounced off the daily pivot. That's these light turquoise blue situations here. That's the daily pivot. It bounced off the daily pivot low. My stop is sitting under that region over there. So if we lose that zone, I'm jumping out, and it's not my typical area. My typical area for what I look for is essentially, it's going to be your trend, it's going to be your 618, it's going to be your horizontals. That is what excites me. Okay, that is what gets me out of bed in the morning, the 618. And that's going to be at about 5.8. So we're going to watch that one. We do have some confluence here as well. We've got horizontals in the way. So that is my backup area, 5.8 for Celestia traders, the DGens. Okay, DGen zone there on Celestia. Okay, let's go into... Well, let's catch up with Ray. How's our giveaway going here? What are we doing here?
I got three gentlemen, 1 lady, and I would like to have another lady.
Ladies,
and I'll drop those usernames in the
comments. Did you get Mia Faree? She was one of the ones in the chat.
Yes, I did. Okay,
Mia Faree, you are in. Ray's collecting.
We need 1 more lady. Let's go.
Okay. So Ray is hunting, guys. Just do some cool shit in the chat. Say some cool stuff or whatever. Just get the man's attention. Okay, let's go into the next one. Okay. Another little lagger. Okay, but look at this. This is Myro. Okay, here's a little meme coin again. I know you guys, some of you don't like trading meme coins, but we can't deny when the market turns bullish, these things like to pump. And Myro is another example for you, just like we were looking at Brett, but the only difference here is Myro has actually reclaimed the 50-day MA. Okay, so this is a good start for me for Myro. You can see this thing's been absolutely abused over the last couple of weeks. It's not looking great, but we've reclaimed the 50-day MA, and we've got our support base. 0.07 is what you're going to be watching as support. If we're closing under there, the market is filthy. I remind you again, okay, you don't want to be in a position lower down there, okay, especially if you're looking for longs in these things. If it closes under there, Bitcoin's ugly, okay, things are looking not great. We're going to be hunting entries lower down, okay. So right now, there's a potential spot play here or low leverage play here on Myro that you're looking at, and you can use that 0.07 as your support marker there for you. It's got tons of work to do. But what I want to highlight again is the distance between the 50-day MA and the 200-day MA. This could be a nice longer-term play for you. It's 115% move here, potentially on the cards for Myro. Now, naturally, it's got work to do. You saw with the 𝗔𝗟𝗔𝗥, it's bumping into the monthly pivot. It's now reclaimed the very tight weekly pivot. Let's just zoom in so you can see this thing. Look at this. Okay, look at that tight weekly pivot. How tight is this thing? Okay, look at that on the 50-day MA. So this is where 𝗔𝗟𝗔𝗥 ties in with my regular TA. We've got the 50-day MA, we've got the weekly pivot, we've also got horizontals here in play on Myro. Okay, looking decent here for me. And we've got our monthly pivot low, which is that red, the big red lines that you are watching there. That is the low of the monthly pivot. So there's a couple of things tying in here, giving this thing support. And naturally, if we do get some kind of flush out here, let's see how deep can we go. And, that's about another 9 to 10% drop on Myro. We don't want to see much more than that thing. If we start losing that, like I said, we're going to be in pain all over the place. Okay, so Myro, bigger picture, looking okay here, and could be a nice little churner. Let's see how that one is going to play out. Another one, okay? Who remembers Bonk? Okay, what's going on here, bro? Killing me. Killing me. Bull, bro. Bull. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, Bonk. Looks like Brett. Looks like Myro. Okay, looks like a lot of these coins, they're getting suppressed under the 50-day moving average. What happens when they break through the 50-day moving average? Look at that shit coin, Celestia. Look what it did. when it broke through there. So bonk, get this one on your hit list. This for me is another potential mover. This thing has been super quiet. And for those of you that remember the history, look at the type of pumpage that bonk can do. Okay, there were different factors here. Remember at this phase, they put it on a soul phone. Then at the next phase, the market was pretty bullish and things were ripping here in that region. Then we had a little standard pump in July leading into, when was this? Leading into late July. And we had 80% move, 246% move, 297% move. Okay, and all I'm saying is, bonk, why won't you come back and visit that 200-day MA? If the market stays bullish, why is bonk not going there? Okay, BTC's hit the 200-day MA. Phantoms hit the 200-day MA. A lot of other tokens have already gone there. Sol just stopped short of that 200-day MA. It tells me some of these things are lagging here, and they are lagging hard. Okay, so bonk, get this one on your radar. Okay, this is a nice little spot bag. You can sleep really well. You leave your bonk. Okay, you leave your Myro, you leave your Brett, those types of things. There's no stress. Okay, you're not in 50x leverage, 20x leverage. Let the spot do the work. If the market is going to end up bullish in the next 6 months, okay, you're going to be like, wow, I'm so glad I bought that. Even if it was $100 of the bonk or the Brett, when that thing starts ripping, okay, you're going to be very happy that you let your spot bags do the work for you. Okay, naturally, like I said, small portion do leverage, rest spot, and very simple, low leverage types of situations. We know this market is teeing up nicely for us here. Let's not fuck it up. And here's another one. This is what I gave out today on Sniper Club. And so far, it's actually following the arrow perfectly. And what I was looking for was a little pump and then a nice little flush back to the lows. Okay, so here's 𝗲𝗲. And this is 𝗲𝗲 on the daily. We are nearly back in the entry box. Now, don't think the market can't come back and flush us out all the way back to retest the 50-day MA, this anchored VWAP, and this 382. So this for me, for 𝗲𝗲, is a hot zone, okay? Don't think it can't come back here to the 0.777. Okay, that is a big zone there for me that I'm liking there. Let this thing fall over a little bit if it must. If you're looking for a position here, you can buy at different stages in this box. You can ladder in to the position. What do I like about it? Reclaim the 50-day, reclaim the horizontals, reclaimed the 382 as well. Let's take a look. Where are our pivots and things like that? Reclaim the weekly. It's at the lows of the monthly pivot. So we know 777, big support zone here for 𝗲𝗲. If we start closing underneath that, well, then this is invalidated. Then the trade is looking stiff. Okay, then it's time to maybe jump out. And JMO says, don't fuck this up. JMO, you can swear here, bro. I don't know why you put a star there. you can use the U. It's okay. This is a safe space. Okay, so 𝗲𝗲, you get the drill. Okay, you get the situation. And I've got spot 𝗲𝗲. I've got a leverage trade 𝗲𝗲. I'm looking for a bigger move. You can see I put the first TP box at the 200-day MA. That is 93 that you're going to be watching. The next TP is going to be around about that 382 fib, just a little bit lower there, 1023. And then we've got the moonshot. Okay, the 𝗲𝗲 moonshot is going to take us to 1288. Okay, so these are all interesting zones to me. First step, let's make sure our big support holds. We've broken the 50-day. We've got a 382. We've got the horizontals. We've got the monthly pivot, the weekly pivot. If that's not enough confluence to hold, well, then the market is fucked. Okay, and this thing is falling over. And then we are looking for new entries after that. And I see Mikkel says, printer go brrr. I do have a money printer thing situation here somewhere. Well, let's see. I'm sure we got this. Money printer. Hold on. Can't find it. Can't find my money printer, right? Oh, there it is. That feels good. That feels pretty bullish to me. Okay. Okay, so 𝗲𝗲, here's the degen play for 𝗲𝗲. And this is for the leverage, guys. You can see what's going on here. And typical setup that I was looking at. So we've broken through the horizontals. Now we're doing a typical retest. Now, what is a typical retest? It's a retest of the horizontals, okay? And quite often I pull out the 382 as a bullish support zone. So ideally, you want to hold the 382 now. Okay, we want to see this thing start grinding a little bit higher. So currently, this is now a retest on the lower time frame, on the 1 hour that you can be watching. Naturally, you're going to keep your eyes on BTC. If we start melting down, then 𝗲𝗲, your next zone of interest for you is going to be this 8099. Okay, so leverage traders, you're on a retest area right now, 8327. Okay, this is for the degens. Then lower down, you're watching your 618 at 8099. Okay, so you're looking for some kind of push down into that zone. And, if we do start melting lower down, you're looking for that to start playing out. You want to see consolidation here and then that little push there. So you can also look for some kind of break, and you can sniff around in those regions. And then lower down, you can see this is that major support that I've highlighted here for you guys. And if we drop into there, that is where we're looking for longs. Okay, that is where you're getting a super tight leverage entry as well. You've got double anchored VWAP there. You've got a 382. You've got the 50-day MA. There's a lot going on down there at 7676. Okay, so these are your areas. And let's go. Oh, we're cracking along beautifully here today. And here is the Zoomex situation. And I traded GRT for the Zoomex comp, and I got a little bit of ahead of myself and I actually hit a stop. So you can see I've got stopped out there $20 on the Zoomex, and now I'm back in GRT. I'm going to show you that exact trade and why it was interesting to me. And remember, there's still 2 days left. Okay, he's got his gills. Okay, there's still 2 days left. Winners. Okay, guys, these are the winners. So everybody on the screen in the chat, okay, go to the show description, email. It's giveaways at Banter, whatever. It's in the list there for you guys, in the show description. Make sure you sign up to Zoomex. Put $50 in the account so we can see that you've done that. And then you're going to get, well done. You're going to get your Bitfunded $49 account. And then you can get cracking. Okay, so Zoomex comp and things like that. This is GRT. And we are still cooking. There's still 2 days left in the Zoomex comp, guys. We are doing well. We've got 66 players in there at the moment, and you can see my thinking is the same as yesterday. Okay, so GRT, what I'm trying to do here is catch the ticket into the next region. If the market's going to remain bullish, the only way you can do this at big resistance zones is to start dialing in, getting a little bit sneaky with breakout trades and things like that. And if you do catch these things, sometimes you're going to get stopped once or twice, but if you do catch these things, then it opens up the next move for you guys. And the next move that I'm watching for on GRT is a push to 0.22. Okay, but how do you get there? The best way to get there is to look for some kind of breakout and retest that can then potentially send you higher. So that is the only way you can manage these resistance areas, because they do get pretty tricky. And other than sitting back and just waiting for some kind of market pullback, which I have no doubt we're going to get some kind of pullback. And remember, it always happens, these market pullbacks always happen when you least expect it. Okay, sometimes it happens when things are looking so bullish, you're firing longs everywhere and the market's pumping, you're feeling euphoric, and then you get a tiny little rejection, and then they come and they end you. Okay, 20%, 25% on these altcoins, they come and smash you, and it happens in a couple of candles. It happens super quickly. Okay, so let's not take that off the table in the current bullish conditions. They love to do that. And if GRT did happen to fall back lower down, it would still make perfect sense to me, because this is quite a bullish little setup that we got here on GRT. Look at that. Okay, that still is in play for me on GRT. We can easily get this little squeezy setup playing out there. So right now, trying to have a sneaky long into the next zone. And here we are, GRT on the 1 hour. And this is exactly how we played it on Lido. It's exactly what I've shown you on Pepe as well. And it's a very simple breakout of a horizontal. Okay, here's our horizontal. What did we do? We broke out, retested. Okay, bang into that area. Now we're looking for that bounce to push higher up. So the support you can watch, 1747. Okay, 0.1747. Why is that important to me? Well, if we start closing underneath that, it tells me we're bearish and we're moving to the next zone. Okay, the next zone is another area where you can look for a potential long, and that's going to be at about 168. Okay, so that is the best way, or the safest way you can play it for the DJs. Okay, you're looking for that break, you're looking for that retest. Now, what happened to me earlier? Why did I get stopped on this thing? Well, basically, it started firing, and I added to the position, and then I put my stop under, where were we? I put my stop just under this candle over here, and they came back and they caught me out. Okay, so just another lesson here for you guys. And you know, you want to bang out those fibs, you want to bang out your big levels. And after that candle had run, I thought, well, let me just make things a little bit safer, and stuck my stop under that zone, and I paid the price. Okay, now we've had a bounce in that area. So let's see how GRT goes. You've got your support, 17487. Using that, okay, that's your rising trend. If we lose that, you know the drill. We're going lower. Okay, we're chasing the next area. We lose that zone, then we back at the lows. Okay, that's that low that I told you about earlier, and that takes us back to bang. Okay, 1489. Okay, that is going to be our next big zone that we're going to be watching. So GRT, very simple little game plan there. And then one more look at Sol. Okay, I just thought let's cover Sol. I mean, we covered a ton of DGen plays. Now remember, some of these meme coins that I've given you, Bonk, Myro, okay, Sol plays. Okay, these are potential Sol plays that you want to be watching. When do these things start ripping? Well, simple. when Sol starts ripping. Now you can see Sol is busy consolidating at the moment. This chart hasn't changed for the last 5 days. I've been showing you this exact chart. And what we're looking at for Sol still, 140, possible buy zone there, 136. These are both bullish buy zones for Solana. If these things trigger, okay, and Sol bounces, then Bonk rips, then Myro rips, then Popcat rips, all these types of things, they start absolutely flying. So no changes for Solana. 200-day MA, there it is, 154. That is still resistance. Look at this tight 50-day MA, okay? We're really squeezing in here, very tight. So I'm expecting some kind of move here out of Sol at some point. But when it breaks this 200-day, we start flying. If we lose the 50-day, okay, the market's not great. Sol at 120. Bitcoin's hurting, okay? Bitcoin is feeling deep pain. Okay, so Ray, you've got the winners. The winners have everything they need to know. Okay, so guys, remember now, after the show.
Email? It's missing from the description.
It should be in the description. Okay.
Maybe I'm blind. Sorry.
Hold on. I'm checking. Okay, guys. Okay, winners. All you need to do, just check into the show just now. I'll make sure they put it in the description for you. Okay, so all the winners, check in the show. In like 20 minutes, I'll make sure it's there in the description for you. It's something like giveaways at cryptobanter.com. It's not complicated. So just make sure you check into the show. Okay, and then also what you need to do, we've covered some of your tokens that you requested yesterday in the comments. Please do the same for me again. So just request your tokens in the comments here now after the show. Ray goes through them. He sends me a list. I incorporate them into the show, and then everybody's happy, okay? Then everybody gets what they need. Nice. Banger. Okay, we're good. We're done. See you guys tomorrow, Wednesday. Okay, another big day in the market. Remember, the market never goes away. There's always action. There's always a trade. Don't feel too much FOMO. Okay, you don't need to be in a ton of positions. Okay, it's a long road ahead. See you guys later.
I managed not to get liquidated today.